Welcome back, Tribe. Got another one here from Man Guide. Female dating coaches are quitting. Even women admit other women are too picky.
Nice. I just want you guys to know there's no way that I'm going to date a man that makes under $200K a year.
That's a filter, right?
That don't even make no sense. I'm not trying to struggle.
That's a filter, right?
I can struggle by myself.
That's a filter,
Okay.
yeah.
Why would I want to struggle with a man? So if you're not making $200K, you can't date me. You trying to date me? I only date millionaires, baby. Like, you better get it right.
That's a filter.
Too many times you had it wrong. Don't be in my inbox. Working where? Where you work? That's the only question I got. Where you work? Then I could decide.
Okay, there are 8 million people in this city. Sounds like a lot, right? Half of them are women. So 4 million men. And then you gotta have some age limits. Let's say over 20,
keep it legal,
under 40.
keep it sexy.
Now it's a million.
Right. We're talking about a million guys.
But half of them are married. 10% are gay. I want someone college educated, not too ugly. So
There's your boyfriend.
I wish. It's gotta be taller than me. And gotta want kids.
I don't think women can visualize in their heads when they make these kind of demands and have these kinds of standards for men, just how little that pool of men actually is. The fact that they can so nonchalantly say, I want a guy that makes $100,000 bare minimum without even understanding how hard it is to make $100,000 a year. It's like, you just shit out 100,000 a year. Easy, bro. It's like, what? You can't breathe? Everybody's got 2 nostrils. Like, they literally think it's just part of life, part of being a man. And you know why that is? Because most of the guys they talk to or attempt to talk to or only are on their radars do make 100,000 or more. The only guys they pay attention to are the dudes with the very nice cars, with the boats, going on plane rides everywhere, the vacations, the exotic locations. Like, those are the guys on the dating apps and in the DMs that she's actually responding to. So in her world, it seems like every single man earns at least 100,000. That's where part of this delusion comes from, because in a weird way, in their own bubble, it seems true. It's backed up by reality. It's just their reality isn't the norm. Now, they don't understand what happens when you get past 30 plus and then your quote options dwindle. And this is where this whole wall thing even comes about. It's the fact that they wake up and see the average dudes only now. They finally get to see what everybody else lives like. Life goes from easy mode to like, we just bumped you up to medium, sis. That's it. And then they act like the world's ending. They're not content with medium settings, bro, with normal difficulty. God forbid they play the game on legendary, like a short, fat, balding, broke dude. Good luck with that. See how many of you make it to the end without pressing end game yourself. See, oh, this is perfect. When I grew up with the dad who could build, fix, solve anything, so now I think every man I come across can do the same. You're in for a rude awakening, sis. You're getting nothing but tight jeans, painted nails, low soy test, cries when they watch shows, moans like a chick during sex, expects you to go downstairs and protect everybody when the intruders come. Yeah. It's your boyfriend's money and okay, he works hard to spoil you. Simping.
All right, I saw one of my followers make a list of superficial dating requirements. So now I'm going to show you guys my list. Disclaimer, this is my preference. Again, it is superficial. If you want to argue, go argue with your mother, not me. Coming in at number 1, I need you to be at least 5'10". Listen, I'm a short girl. I'm only 5'2", 5'3". And this is where the logic comes in with that. If I'm wearing 3-inch heels, I am almost 5'6". If you are 5'7", 5'8", you're only 2 inches taller than me. If I can look you eye level, immediate ick. I don't want it. The difference between my height and your height when I'm wearing heels, it needs to be at a long distance relationship.
Okay, and what if the guy wears platforms to make himself taller by 3 inches too? Boom, you just equalized everything. Ick gone. You have stilettos on, he has platforms on. Same bullshit. This is... Talk about like, hey, what's the most important thing when you're looking to date a man and get into a long-term relationship and that potential being the father of your kids? I get the ick at 3 inches or eye level when I put on my high heels. Wow. All right, dude.
You need to be bigger than me. And this is what I mean by that. I like to go to sleep in my man's t-shirt. I want to be like, hey, babe, pass me a t-shirt. And that t-shirt, I need to be swimming in it. If your clothes fit me like my own clothes, you might as well be borrowing my clothes at that point. It's not going to work for me. It's going to give me another ick. I need you to know how to dress,
Respectable.
okay? Because I'm bougie. I go out to hella events. I like to show up, show out on occasion. And there's a time and place to dress like a bum, okay? And I don't need you to be embarrassing me. Number 4, you cannot be dating me and have bad teeth. I am a dentist. It is embarrassing if you do that. We have Motto or Invisalign for straightening teeth. You don't even have to get the regular braces at this point. If you are collecting sneakers on a daily, you can be putting that money into monthly installments to fix your teeth. Also, please have good oral hygiene. I'm gonna need you to floss every day. Emphasis, every day. And to add to the teeth
Understandable.
rule, if you're missing a tooth, goodbye. That means the decay was so bad, the tooth was non-restorable, and then you had to get it pulled. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. This might be a controversial take, but I tried to date blue-collar men, aka men that don't have any type of degree. I'm not with it. I want a white-collar man. I have 3 degrees. I have my bachelor's, master's, and doctorate, so it kind of needs to make sense. Education is very important to me. I'm also Asian. It's
Hypergamy.
instilled into my culture. I want you to at least have a bachelor's degree. It's a non-negotiable.
Better than me. Mm-hmm.
Next point, provider mindsets. I'm going to need you to be making the same money as me or more. I'm going to only be dating in my tax bracket or higher because let's be
Good
real.
luck.
Men that make less money than me, and unfortunately, it's a lot of men, they're going to feel incompetent. They're going to feel inferior because
You're a dentist lady with 3 degrees. You're probably making $250,000 a year or more. A ton more if you start your own office. Yeah, there's not very many of those men to go around. And unfortunately, for those that are in that position, you're not the stunner you think you are. They're going with the supermodel looking chicks. They're going with not a 5'2" girl or whatever your height was. They're going with a chick that's like 5'10" and up. I mean, at that point, when you're Mr. Dentist and you're making a killing and you got degrees and your life is set up, you're picking the top tier genetics as a man as well. So the mismatch here is, it's unfortunate, but women don't get to have both sides of this cake, dude. You could only pick one. The brutal reality is figuring out that you got sold a lie between being a boss babe and a mother stay at home that's getting provided for. Nope.
because their ego gets in the way. I also want to retire soon. I want to be a part-time stay-at-home wife, and if you can't
There
help
you go.
provide that for me or provide
Told
the
you.
lifestyle that I can provide myself alone, then you're not adding anything to my life.
Mhm.
Next. And lastly, I must like your voice. This is a big one. If I match with you on a dating app, I'm going to send you a voice note. And then I need you to send me a voice note back. If I don't like your voice, I'm deleting you. That is all.
These are my requirements for dating. Moving forward, I want the password to your phone, the password to all of your social media
She got cheated
accounts.
on.
I want to know that I am the only woman that you are pursuing. Even through
Insecure.
the hard times, you're not seeking validation on Instagram, Snapchat, or paying $9.99 to some ratchet hoe on OnlyFans.
Damn, she really did get cheated on hard. And it wasn't a top tier male either, because they don't get this mad at Chad doing this kind of stuff. They know they're going to struggle to hold on to him. This was a beta Bob. Obviously, if you haven't figured out, the beta Bob was subscribing to the OF. The beta Bob was spending his little pennies on other chicks getting naked on his screen. The beta Bob was looking for attention everywhere else. Nothing hurts them more than a beta Bob thinking they can do better. Dude, it's like a cockroach being too good to eat your food. It's like an affront. How dare you disrespect me? You're saying my sandwich that I just made is too disgusting for you, Mr. Cockroach? You think you're better? Proceeds to step on it. That's what they do. When they settle down with this like nice guy, the little nerdy dude, the cubicle Carls, you know, the guys that they can whip and get them to do whatever they want with, you know, their spineless turds. Those are the guys that have the most rules, the most restrictions, and the most hoops that they have to jump through with these women. And when that dude got off the plantation on OF, you know she lost her shit. That's why she made this video. She wants to scream out the top of her lungs, but she's just going to start it with passive aggressiveness. Right?
My body will be the only body that you want to see naked, or we're not going to be together. If I'm not enough for you, we're done. Capiche? Capuche.
I mean, what if I don't want to live the way you live?
Oh, don't be ridiculous, Andrea. Everybody wants this.
If he ain't paying, he ain't staying. Period.
If you are a grown woman and you're dealing with a grown man who has his hand out at bill paying time, you're the wrong one. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Broke men always think you want their money. What money? Sprinkle, sprinkle. Ladies, if you have to make excuses for your men instead of bragging on them, you got the wrong one. Okay? You need to wake up. You shouldn't have to make excuses every time someone asks you about.
Isn't she a single mother with no man? I don't understand. Can someone in the comment section correct me? Because I read comments about her that she's got a shitty situation at home and whatnot. But someone verify that. I have no idea.
Your man and your relationship status and your financial status. That is not how it goes. If you have a man, a grown man that you're sleeping with, all you should be able to do is brag on him about how he did this for you, how he's helping you do that, how he makes you feel so good, how he does this for you, how he makes you feel like you're the best woman ever. That's all you should be talking about. You should be making excuses for him. Like, well, he didn't come home last night because of this, or, well, he's having.
Damn, this is the trauma she went through, man. It's so sad to see because now she's turned into that adversarial attitude of I got ruined by so many men, or the men I really fell in love with, that now she's just extracting. That's it. All relationships to her now, because of the damage, is pure extraction. What I can get out of the next guy because he's going to screw me over. They all screwed me over. All men are the same. And now she's out here giving out the same kind of toxic advice to women that may not have experienced it, but will now go into relationships with a decent man and try to maximally extract everything they can from him. Notice that to be in a healthy relationship, it's not what I did for my man, what I do for my man, what I can do for him, how I can make his life easier. It's what he can do for me, what he can provide for me, what he can buy for me, how I can show him off, simping to my friends. That's a one-way street relationship, dude. If you're looking for a pay pig, sis, better start OFANs.
A hard time right now and because of this, and well, he said he was gonna do this. Okay, well, that sounds like a bunch of excuses, and like your man don't even like you. Sprinkle, sprinkle.
Hello, this is Rebecca Lynn Pope coming on real quick. You guys know that I have been swamped lately, but I promised I would come on and just share my viewpoints on why women are just, many women, I'm not going to say all women, but many women are very, very unrealistic about their standards for men, dating, and marriage. So I'm going to give my opinion on this. And now listen, girls, I'm about to be very raw. I'm about to be very real. I'm about to just shoot it to you as just straight as I can, because I'm hoping that this helps somebody.
Nope.
Because as you girls know, I'm a matchmaker. And for a large part of the end of last year and the beginning of this year, I stopped matchmaking. And the reason I stopped matchmaking is because I literally was I can't handle female clients. I was a matchmaker that matched females, and I had a few male clients, but predominantly I was matching women. And listen, it was such a valuable lesson for me, because what I learned is that the average woman doesn't really want just a good man. She doesn't want a husband. What she's really wanting are these standards or ideas that she has of what a man is supposed to be.
Status symbol. She wants to brag to her girlfriends. She caught the biggest fish and tamed him. That's all it is. They're just looking for a dude that's the equivalent of the blue check mark on Instagram, but in real life. That's what it is, dude. That's it. That's the simple part of the game. They want a man to upgrade them in status. That's it. To be a good man, to have a nice job, to have your car and your house paid off in the, whatever, middle America, middle class neighborhood, nice, quaint suburb. That's not good enough anymore. That's destitute in their eyes. That's midlife crisis waiting to happen. That's us. We're not surviving. You can't facilitate dreams. We both got to work. You can't afford vacations, blah, 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 and on it goes. And the more TikTok they watch, the more toxic they become, the more delusional they get, and the more depressed they'll be.
But this is nothing what men are. This is not realistic. It's just this preconceived, idea that women have of who men should be. But this is not reality. Okay, so literally the standards here that I see consistently in women that stay single, do not get married, and the difference between women and wives. The second standard is this: you're comparing good men to I can't say this. F-boys. I'm just gonna say it. You're comparing good men to the men that you've experienced previously who were not ready to be husbands, that you were just dating, messing around with. I mean, literally, there's a distinct
Messing around with, let's be real, getting your guts absolutely rearranged by some supreme foot-long meat. That's what happened. You got spellbound by the D. The tube steak has enchanted you, and now you can't go back to normal. It is what it is, dude. Let's be real. Crazy sex. It leads to toxic relationships. Relationships that should have never happened before, but one party gets absolutely enamored because all the singing O's there are and won't let go of the other, no matter how bad they are for them. It is. It's like a drug. It's an addiction. It's a dopamine rush. That's what these guys are providing them.
difference between marriage material, men who are ready to be husbands, and these F-boys that you've been messing around with in out of these situationships with for years. And so now you have this stand.
You see, look, man, pay very close attention. Messing with F-boys in situationships for years. I want you guys to understand this. When you go on a date with a chick, whether you perceive her to be a good girl or not, it's highly likely in the dating pool today, especially you meet on Tinder or Bumble or wherever the hell, that she has an F-boy or two in the rotation, or that guy has her in the rotation, who she will answer the call whenever it's needed, because she's always vying for that guy's attention, hoping one day she can tame him. One day he'll realize, one day he'll change for me. That's the delusion in their head. And that guy's got the supreme meat. That tube steak is rearranging them walls, and she will always answer. I'm telling you, man, listen, for the dudes in the comments that have been that guy, explain it to everybody else. Decades can go by. I swear to you, there are chicks that I have not seen in 10 years that still stalk my social media. There are chicks that still message me years later asking me what's going on. How have I been? The door is wide open. I can walk right through it whenever I want. I don't know what the situation of their day-to-day lives are, why they're calling me out of the blue or messaging me out of the blue. Probably has something to do with the relationship, probably has something to do with a midlife crisis. Something somewhere went wrong. They're feeling some kind of way. They may be trapped with a good guy because that's how they feel. It's a trap, monotonous, boring. And then they get afraid and want to live vicariously again, not through some other people, but through their old acquaintances and contacts. And then they try to rekindle flames because they paint this distorted, like rose-tinted glasses memory of what the good times used to be like. Better than they actually were, but they convinced themselves in their head that it was much greater than it was. And so they fall into this trap, dude. It's pretty wild to see. I mean, just talking to my boy the other day, he literally had a girl that he messed with when we were back in college who is now married with 2 kids for like 7 years now. 7 years married. And they were together for far longer than that. My friend was the F-boy. One of the cases where he found out later, morning after, hey, don't call me, I'll call you. Don't text me, my man this. And sure enough, dude, they come back for seconds, thirds, fourths. It's there. It's open. This is what's dangerous. The pair bonding, the alpha widowing, the destruction of, just hypersexualization, hookup culture, that you get attached to these people. This is what nobody wants to admit. You do get attached to the people you hook up with. And then if you get one of those like really good hookups, that toxic sex, you're imprinted on. That's it. It's a game over. That either becomes the bar for which you set everybody else up to, or you're never going to forget that memory and that experience. And then that will make you unhappy because you're always going to compare. You could have the best guy in the world. He can make great money. He can have it all, be a good guy. Every woman's like, oh my God, he's so sweet. But he didn't rearrange your guts like that one dude who treated you like shit, pulled your hair, smacked your ass, yada, 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 did everything, folded you like a pretzel in the bedroom, just used you as a toy. Dude, there's a reason men look for low body counts. You could say it's, because how can you compete with all that dick? You could say that. But at the same time, it's like comparison is the thief of joy. You experience too much, you may never be satisfied ever again.
Standard for a man and a husband based on these dudes that have just been playboys, fun, boy toys, whatever you want to call it, girls, okay? You can call it whatever you want. But now you set this standard to say he's supposed to look like this, he's supposed to act like that. Oh, you know what? He's too corny. he likes me too much. He texts me too much. Yeah, because the men that you were messing with, you weren't even the only one. They don't text you right back. They don't call you right back because they have 8 more just like you. Women just want a good man. Nah, boo, that's not what they wanted. What they want is, if I'm going to pay this money, I want me a Michael Ealy. I want me a Boris Kojo. Well, look, boo, Boris Kojo's married. Last time I checked, Idris Elba's taken. These men are such a small percentage of the population. Do you guys understand that for a man to be over 6'2" is less than 3% of the population? And we're talking all men around the world, less than 3% of the population. Now you take out the gay guys and you take out the guys that are not black or whatever race specific that you prefer your husband to be. And you take out the men that are broke, and you take out the players, the men who are just not ready and who are not ready to get married, aren't even looking for a wife, don't want that responsibility yet. Think about these numbers. Less than 3%. Less than 14% of the entire American male population is over 6 foot. Less than 14%. And that's all the married men and the men in prison. All of them, girls. So you're sitting around here like, oh, he's got to be 6 foot and he's got to look like this and he's got to make 6 figures or 7 figures. When you start at just height alone, do you hear the percentage that I just gave you on just height? Just height. And if you add in what he looks like looking like Idris and making money like this and that, honey, look, you looking for the come up for real, because I don't know where he's at. I would never date him. I was matchmaking. I would be like, man, I would go find these incredible men. And they would be like, oh, I would never date him. I'm like, I just went and found a freaking pilot, a ex-Falcons player. Are you serious? But he don't look, it's like he's gotta be perfect. But you're not perfect. You got issues and unresolved issues, and you got a temper, and you're bossy and you're controlling, and men don't even like to be around you long term. You run everybody away. You think you're so much the ish that you're bougie and vain and stuck up. And men don't like it. And you wonder why you can't keep a man. You wonder why nobody wants to be around you. Literally, they're false standards. They're ridiculous standards. You know what? I'm not gonna settle. But in the meantime, boo, you're not even half the things that you have on your list as requirements for a man. You're not even half those things. But you want that in a man. And you don't want to build with anybody. You don't want to build a life together. Listen, honey, you gotta find yourself a Build-A-Bear. You need to find yourself a Build-A-Boo. Okay, somebody that meets some requirements of who you want in character, your values, integrity. I came from dating Mr. Gorgeous. I came from dating Mr. Trainer. I came from dating Mr. Baller. I was flying here and doing this and that. And at the end of the day, all of them were players. They were F-boys. Because until a man is ready, he is not going to choose you. It doesn't matter how you put it down in the bedroom. It doesn't matter what kind of values. It doesn't matter how big your butt is and what you look like. Until a man is ready, he is not settling down. And literally, I'm literally writing this. So my compromises came because I had these standards, just like most of you, that were way up here because I had all these experiences that created an appetite. It created a false standard in my life of what I thought I deserved or what I thought I needed. But yet it was a false standard because none of them were men of God.
And there you go. More proof.
Standards. I had a type. Let's be real, girl. I had type. My type was businessman. My type was CEO. My type was getting it done. My type was literally go-getter. 6- and 7-figure men running companies. Those are the only kind of men I was in relationships. Okay, that's what I was committing to. I played with some boy toys from that instead of F-boys, okay? Boy toys. I played around thinking I was trying to be serious because of lust. So many of you have fallen in lust. And then you think, and now you want love and you're trying to compare it to lust. And that's not how love works. So you date Mr. Gorgeous and he's got the 6-pack and he's 6'4" and he's chocolate. And then you date the Mr. Baller and he got money and you in the Benz and you whipping and you flying and you drinking and dinner, whining and dining. And at the end of the day now, you created an appetite for yourself, or you, better yet, maybe you haven't even experienced it for yourself like me, but you want it. So you're on Instagram and you're looking at people's lifestyles and you're looking at people on the scene, traveling and doing all this and comparing.
Told you, comparison is the thief of joy. This is how a mental hospital with no walls looks like. Any woman who says sprinkle sprinkles for the streets. It says 14.5 of the U.S. population is over 6 feet. Let's take 1,000 men. That's 145 men. 67% are married. 98 men. 10% rule for chads. That's 9 men. Over 100,000. Now it's 1 or less. Now, lady, you're 1 of 1,000 wanting the mythical man. Good luck. Back in 2010, I was on the other side. As a single U.S. Air Force officer, I paid a matchmaking service $2,000 because my schedule was jacked. I'm a Native American and was not going to cowboy up in Colorado or Wyoming. The matchmaker was damn near salivating at having fresh meat. She did her best to talk me out of my only real requirement. No single moms. Wow, dude. If memory serves me, I only ever had 3 physical dates before giving up over a year later. The woman had paid as well and expected multi-million-dollar CEOs, I guess. Being a fit single professional in my mid-20s was not enough for the matchmaker's clientele. Jeez. Bro, that's how bad it is out here. Your only requirement is please no single mothers. And because I don't have kids. I don't want to deal with a woman with kids. I want to start my own family. And the matchmaker goes, nah, bro, your standards are too high. Holy shit. Get the hell out of here, dude. Literally. Get a passport, get out. There's no way. There's no way. There's no way you should be putting up with that. Dude, your only standard is I got no kids, she better have no kids. Nope. I'll take your $2,000 though. Unbelievable. We'll see you guys on the next one.